Setup. Now the setup has an almost infinite number of scenarios through it. I'll just pick one here. We've been looking at the 3 samples in drugs of abuse. I'm going to remove those and I'm going to take the calibration samples so we can study them closer. So I'll add those together. And let me look at the compounds. We are just looking at the targets here. We'll keep that. And then the organization. So I'm looking at the compounds and I will look at the qualifier overlays. So something that's very useful, especially if you have dual monitors, is to pull this over here and I can apply that, and now I see the calibration levels across for each set of compounds. Amphetamine, methamphetamine. Now if I want to break this out, I see that the qualifier is overlaid. I can pick target and qualifiers and then apply, and what you'll see is the targets and the qualifiers are split out. If I want to inspect them separately here, I've got the transition for the target and the transition for the qualifier broken out across all of the calibration levels, giving me a very precise view of those integrations and my calibration curve. The combination is the ability to overlay compounds. So in this case, I will pick compounds and then apply, and you can see that for each calibration level, I see all of the compounds in the same graphic. Another example would be to overlay the samples. So in that case, I can see that all of the samples are overlaid on top of each other. So those are 2 variations as we go through the different scenarios of overlaying compounds or samples, is to use the compound group or sample group. I'll show you the compound group. In this case, you can see I've got the compounds and I've organized these so cocaine and amphetamine are in group 1 and methamphetamine and MDA are in group 2. This could be applied to, for example, if compounds fall into functional group categories, or if you analyze them by time segments, in a variety of different ways. But the power of this is when I move to presenting them, I can say present this as compound groups. If I apply that, what you see next is the cocaine and amphetamine have been overlaid here, as well as methamphetamine and MDA are overlaid here. So I see that set of compounds organized together. Look at the powerful qualifiers. I've got the organization here with the calibration samples, and I'm looking at the qualifier ratios with the uncertainty band turned on. Now if I look at the outliers, you can see I've got an enormous choice of outliers here for many different sample types. I'm just going to pick one to demonstrate this principle. If I look at the qualifier ratios and I turn on the outlier qualifier ratios and apply that, I'll see that that particular sample for amphetamine is highlighted. And if I zoom in with fit to peak, I can see that that qualifier ratio has actually exceeded what the limits are, and that's why this has turned to red, and it shows me in the hover over that it's outside that range. So this gives you an extremely powerful mechanism to review using the outliers to highlight that you've got issues that you want to inspect.